here's how, when we've done EISs in the past, draft and final EISs in the past, and I have an idea for another all over Florida item, and Councilmember Solari item for next month. But what this staff will do is go through the entire document and provide a analysis of the responses and provide a sort of a, not a conclusion, a conclusion in a sense of, look, here's how they've addressed these 18 things. And by the way, they're short in about 7 of them. And during that whole process, we'll be developing questions to ask. Sorry, my time's up. Everybody's cheering. I don't know what to talk. Additional questions that we'd like to put forward to the FRA as they're preparing the final EIS and their final findings on this. So we will do that here at the Regional Planning Council as a staff. But at the same time, all that's going on. Indian River County, St. Lucie County, Fort Pierce and their staffs will also be reviewing the EIS. I made a commitment. We'll be getting all those too, because we are a clearinghouse, not to filter their comments and reduce sort of the crispness of the local comments. But our job is to collect them all and attach them to the council's comments. So we're a clearinghouse for all those. We won't filter them. They'll be unadulterated local comments. But my commitment, though, to the local governments on this is that I will try, and the staff will try as hard as we can to, if they need assistance in reviewing parts of the item. I know Indian River County is hiring an expert for a couple things, but if some of the local governments who don't hire experts or can't afford to hire an expert, we will go ahead and try and help them form their comments. Many local governments are very, very sophisticated. They don't need the council's help preparing the comments, and we don't go where we're not asked. But some local governments have already asked, could you help us review this EIS? Could you take the time and go through it with us? And I said, yes, I'll do everything I can to make sure there's that level of coordination. Secondly, I was asked last night at Euro, or it wasn't last night, it was 2 days ago now. They asked that we somehow, with the commenting agencies like FDOT and Fish and Wildlife Service and Coast Guard, try and get those folks into a room so that, for the benefit of all the local governments who want to take advantage of that, and have them sit down with those folks in sort of a workshop and figure out what it is that's bugging them about the EIS, or are there pieces that are missing that they're going to make comments on as well. So I committed to do that. I'll try and do that.
And Michael, would that be a public meeting? Yeah. That meeting right there?
Yeah, we would just have a workshop.
That would be a
invite the local governments in. Again, those who want to participate, that's fine. Those who are on their own and running hard, that's good too. But at the end of the day, this council will make at least for the draft, I don't know about a recommendation, but normally what we've done in the draft EIS is actually just said, look, we've received all your information. Here are the following points that we really want you to elaborate on because we didn't get it from your responses. And before we think this is a good idea, please, in the final, would you please let us know what that is? And so I'm sorry for being long-winded about it, but the process it isn't difficult. And the idea for the item next time is to go through an EIS, and actually, because there's tons of subjects under that EIS, go through the EIS and identify all the subject matter that will likely be addressed. We can put that out as an item just to, hey, look, here are typically what you see in the EIS related to a rail or something like that. Typically what you'll see and what you should be prepared to do an analysis of, so all the staff can get ready for that. Along with Commissioner Solari's item, maybe we could add that to the agenda, just so people understand what that EIS might look like and the pieces, the subject matter that they might cover. And your other question, the financial stuff, look, all we can do is ask them. So I don't think it hurts to ask the Federal Railroad Administration to get that information to us. They might say no, it's beyond the scope of the EIS, but I think it hurts to ask. You guys can decide the next meeting, not that. But that's my opinion. So.
Mike, I would add one thing to your
Yeah.
list. A veteran of several EIS, many of them, actually. We request a meeting with FRA because what normally happens is that we submit comments. They will have to write a response to comments in their final EIS, but sometimes that's all the next time you see it or hear from them is in their response to comments. And so I've found it valuable, particularly with a group that represents a region and so many municipalities and counties, that it would be helpful to their request audience with FRA to make sure that they understand fully our comments, whatever they are. So after we submit them, and as part of our submittal, we make that request.
We did ask them for that, and so we asked them to come around, even before they get the EIS, so they hear firsthand. Well, I will make sure we get them.
It would be a meaningful roll up their sleeves, go through our comments, and make sure that they understand it before they respond to us.
One other thing, I'm sorry for what's going on, but the staff, and actually talking with Commissioner Solar, he had just mentioned this. I don't know if you remember mentioning this in an email, but a central clearinghouse for information of all official, all aboard Florida documents. The website of the Regional Planning Council is very robust, and there's no reason why we can't provide that space on our website. And it's sort of an all aboard Florida spot on our website that would include all the correspondence we're getting, official correspondence, and official documents that have come out, so that at least everybody has one place to go. I mean, we don't have perfect knowledge of this at all, because we don't have all the information, but at least all the information we do have, people that are willing to, people who keep sending it to us, which I really appreciate all the local governments sending us everything they're doing. We'll put that up on the website, so everybody has at least there'll be one spot, a central clearinghouse for at least official information about it. That's all. If that's okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. I just thought it was a good idea. So.
Any other staff comments? Let me thank you for hanging in there through this kind of torturous and time process today. I think we got probably where we needed to end up, but I do think it points out, and to follow up on Commissioner Smith's comments, that Mike and Roger, I think we need to go back and we need to maybe clarify some of our policies. I know we try to be flexible, we try to accommodate everybody and all the members of the public, and we clarified some of the public today. But I do think we need to clarify our internal process for things like emergency agenda items. Because I think we were all a bit confused today exactly what the policy is, how we handle it. And no, I think we, just going forward, we learned something today, so I would ask you and Roger to come back with us with maybe in the next, just a short presentation on what the policy is going to be here. So we can perhaps be a little more efficient. So with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So, yes.